President Trump, White House last night. Doug Flynn joins us today. Flynn, Zito, Capital Management. That's been one of the things, the wage growth. I mean, it is a little faster. I think the November 2025 average hourly earnings was 3.5% wage growth. Inflation rate we know now, 2.7, so a little under 3. I don't know if, is that much higher? I don't know. But what and in terms of the most people working ever, I think the actual high was earlier this year. We've come off it with the October losses a little bit. So that's the context on that. But big picture, what would you say about the president, kind of touting his own economic record in that speech last night?
Well, that part is he's correct that after inflation, the people are moving ahead. That doesn't certainly mean everybody at every wage bracket, but these are the general numbers that we have. And so you combine the sort of lowering inflation that is happening, and unemployment, which is kind of sticking around there, and that's the issue. I think with unemployment, it's really interesting to me because for many years, we've always talked about anything less than 5% unemployment was really full employment. And we got way below that. And so that created a tight labor market, which means employers had to pay more. So that's wage inflation. And so now we're getting more normalized rate of unemployment, which is not, of course, good for the people that might have been overhired, but it's sort of settling in. And so you get the situation where inflation is getting closer to the Fed's target. Right. Those numbers are really good. Whether or not all the data is accurate because of the catch-up from the shutdown.
That's the thing I was looking at, right? So the consumer inflation report comes out, and okay, you have 2.7% in inflation, but if you actually look at the report, it's really incomplete. Like it's missing a bunch of stuff. There's blank columns, where groceries would be, apparel, shelter, all that's just blank. So I don't know. Is it worth the? I was going to say the paper it's printed on. I don't know if they do that anymore. The computer, you're reading it off of. Is it worth anything to us?
So, I mean, it does tell you something. It is the official. I mean, this is what we keep talking about. This is supposed to be the gold standard of all data, and yet here we go again talking about how it's incomplete. So I don't know how you square that circle. But at the end of the day, this is the data we have. Even if you toss this one aside and we look forward to the next one, you might get a more real situation. But it's the trend. It isn't any one particular data point or even overall CPI report. The trend is that you have things going in a certain direction, and those things you can see. And when you put it together, that means that you have a situation where now the Fed could possibly begin lowering rates again, which is why the market is reacting based on this news that if this is true, then we're going to get perhaps those lower rates than a little bit higher probability than we thought we would just a day ago.
Yeah, I was just wondering if the market or the participants in the market would just assume rates are going lower because Trump's going to appoint a chairman who's going to lower rates. I mean, it sounds like a joke, but it's not. I mean, that's pretty much what he said.
Yes, I mean, he wants that. Of course, we say it's a committee. There's more than just one person. They have to influence it. And remember, Jay Powell's still going to be on that committee theoretically for a couple of years. So even if he doesn't want to lower it. But I think overall, yes, if you have somebody who really does want to lower rates, that could help move people along faster. And you can make arguments that rates should be lower, and perhaps you get someone who pushes them a little bit lower faster. They have to watch, of course, reigniting inflation. But the data points today from unemployment, from real average hourly wages, and CPI and core CPI are saying that reigniting inflation is really not on the table. So perhaps you get back to that.
All right, perhaps, Doug. As always, thank you. Doug Flynn, closing bell time.